Hello and welcome to Salt All the Things. Today we're going to discuss how to stay awake for 72 hours straight by mainlining Salt and pure spite as midnight launches. Just kidding. I'm Rocket. That's Trog. We're going to talk
everybody.
midnight.
Yeah, we are. And you're right. Mainlining some spite while you were leveling. That is an accurate descriptor.
I seem to have found all the bugs, sir. Well, happy midnight, everybody. I'm actually enjoying myself. Trog, you having a good time at midnight?
I am. I always love doing all this story stuff at the beginning of the expansion, so I'm having a good time.
Right on, right on. Well, let's just get right into it. Midnight actually dropped a few days ago. We're a little late in recording due to some housekeeping issues with our podcast. But, what was your first impression?
I think my first, real impression that I got is as I was wandering around Silver Moon and Eversong and doing all that initial stuff, I did notice that the feeling is still there. Like, I remember the feeling of going through Silver Moon, like the very first time, right? When I started playing initially in BC.
Right.
And I think even though they've really improved this stuff, like the amount of stuff there, the stuff going on, the stories, a lot of the feeling of that Blood Elf area is still there. And I really appreciated that.
The mood, the ambiance, the atmosphere is still intact. Like, they made it prettier, but they didn't change the mood.
Mm-hmm. And I will go into a part of Silver Moon or Eversong that I remember questioning before. And the area is reminiscent of it. Not exactly the same, but it's reminiscent of this area. And then how many years have passed in game? 20 or 30 years since that time at Burning Crusade. So partly it does feel like an upgrade because it's a video game, but partly it does just feel like, this area has grown over the last 20, 30 years if they dealt with their own internal problems.
Well, and that's something you and I have talked about that actually exists in WoW is the feeling of okay, we survived this near cataclysmic event. We saved the world. What happened to the people who are in the area as we move on with the next cataclysmic event? You know what I mean? So it's nice to see that they have, picked themselves up and soldiered forth, so to speak.
Yeah, that haunted Wind Walker, I think it is, dungeon.
Windrunner Spire.
Yeah, I really liked that as a function of storytelling in a powerful family in that area and how the events of war and all the things that's happened over the last 30 years in game have really taken its toll on that family. And now it's a shadow of what it once was.
Yeah. And it's not just the Windrunners. It's now, the main characters of Midnight, Eritor and everyone else. So, you've got multiple families that are now affected over 30 plus years of war. So yeah, it's pretty dope. I'm having a really good time out there. I found myself enjoying the Blood Elf stuff way more than I thought I would because I'm one of those who got really tired real fast of being yelled at every 5 seconds to remember the sun well.
I didn't know this, sir.
So pretty much in Burning Crusade, as soon as I was done with that zone, I never went back. I leveled my Blood Elf, I went through it, I dealt with it, and then I'm never doing it again. But I was pleasantly surprised that I wasn't yelled at every quest that I picked up to remember something, because I remember, trust me, I do.
Elves are like that in a lot of universes, but they are very much like that in WoW. They're always talking about what happened 10,000 years ago.
Well, and I think part of that is if you think, at least in the fantasy, setting that, WoW exists in and maybe Lord of the Rings and things like that, a blink of an eye to an elf is like a lifetime to a human. So
yeah,
they're going to sit there and reminisce about stuff from 5,000 years ago. And the human's going to be like, yeah, bro, okay, I can't remember 3 days ago. There's just no correlation. They're not going to understand the point. But yeah, so I found myself really enjoying it. I tried to do my normal slow crawl and get the lore masters and stuff like as I was leveling, and I was pretty successful. The first two zones I did everything in the zones. The first two zones that I chose were the Eversong Woods and then Herondar. Um, but after that, I felt the what I like to call the artificial pressure of launch and just wanting to be level 90 already. So then I kind of deviated from that plan a little bit. But I got to say, I got to give props where props are due. And Trog stuck to his guns, and he snail paced his way to level 90.
And I'm still snail pacing my way through the campaign. I
So,
find that every expansion, like I get pressure from my guildies every time to just hurry up and get 90 and then start gearing and get ready to raid. But the beginning of the expansion to me is kind of a special time. It's the first
it
time I'm
is,
seeing all this
yeah.
stuff. I want to collect stuff. I want to do the quests. I want to really get into the story. Like something surprised me because I love trolls in World of Warcraft. Like trolls and goblins are my two favorite races. And so anytime there's troll stuff to do or goblin stuff to do, I kind of want to do it like right away. So I was all looking forward to finishing with the stupid elf stuff so that I can get to the cool troll stuff. And then as I was doing the Eversong Woods quest line, I really started like I was really interested in Erator's story and where they're taking that character and like I like that they're talking about generational trauma and the damage that war does to families. Like, there's some serious things being tackled there, and I really appreciated it. So instead of going straight to troll area as I thought I was going to, I instead went and did the Erator's journey, and I really enjoyed that storytelling. It was nice to just because that was a little different from normal run around the zone, pick up all the secrets, blah, 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 blah. That one was more about just going through and seeing the still alive consequences of the Second War.
Right.
That was really cool.
Yeah. I really enjoyed those quests as well. Like, I didn't get around to them as quickly as you did because I was down in Herondar land. But my reasoning for that was I was really gung ho about race swapping my druid to Heronir as soon as it was available. So I wanted to get that zone done. But I will agree with you. The story beats, I think, for the Erator's journey thing were just really, really well done. I was a little grumpy at first. I'll be honest. I was typical Rocket. I'm like, why am I going back to Black Rock Mountain? I've been here many a time for Team Og already. Uh, but going back for a different, meaningful reason was actually quite compelling. Like the story was compelling, and seeing what his father went through and his father before him, and just seeing the generational torment that has happened to Erator's family on both sides, his father and his mother's side. It's honestly just a miracle that he's able to like string a coherent sentence together at this point.
You know what else I really liked from that quest string was the orcs from the Second War. What did they call themselves? The real horde or something like
Right.
that?
Yeah.
The true horde or something
True
like that?
horde or whatever. Yeah.
I really liked how they were talking about like these people lost the war. Like the war has been over for something like 40 years in game or 50 years in game, right? Like that war is done, but these people and the dwarves too still showed it as well, right?
Right.
Their lives were that second war and they can't let go of it. And I thought that was a really beautiful and appropriately current kind of story to tell right now.
Correct. Yeah. Whether it's intended or a happy accident, yes, it's a very poignant message for today's times.
Well, I want you to talk about Haradir because I know I have witnessed the joy of you while you played through that zone, while you got to know the people, and then when you finally got to be one. So talk us through that journey, Rocket.
Yeah, I do apologize if I happen to cough, everybody. I'm still recovering from being sick, but I'm doing my best. Um, so Herondar, I love that zone. Probably, if I'm gonna have to, like, put them in order of love of the zone and love of what's going on, I'd probably put Herondar and Zolomon as a very close tie for first. Both have really really fun story beats and quests that you encounter. But for Heronir, I was gung ho. I was all guns blazing, ready to become a. And it's mostly because of my child. Uh, they can be a axolotl when they do their druid water form. So that is the kind of the starting gun for that whole journey. She's been bugging me for months, and it's finally able to happen. But the zone itself is gorgeous. Like, it gives me a lot of Burning Crusade Zangarmarsh and gosh, what's the other zone I was thinking of? Like the Everbloom Wilds. It gives me like
Oh yeah.
if you take both of those and smush them together, that's kind of what Herondar is to me. And just the visualness of the whole zone and the fact that like Trog, you and I were talking earlier about how like the bioluminescence and the fungal stuff is everywhere you look, and there's a lot of secrets that are super hard to see at first, and you just kind of stumble across things. And honestly, I'm not usually a big fan of like new allied races and things like that, but the idea that these, you know, for lack of a better word, they're kind of like elves, but they've been underground so long they've had to adapt, and they've kind of mutated and evolved into other types of elves. But at the core, they're elves because they're protecting the world tree, and come to find out, it's the roots of Teldrassil that they're protecting. So my whole, like, as I'm doing all these quests for them, the whole time I'm thinking in the back of my head is like, okay, we've already got the developers in interviews saying that they're going to take a hard look at revamping old world content based on how well this does. And I can tell you, I think the overwhelming feeling is really positive with Silvermoon. Uh, so I can almost assume that they're going to go forward with it. But does that mean that we're opening the doors for them to maybe, just maybe, give us a revamped Darnassus and a revamped Teldrassil, the World Tree? That would be dope.
Oh man, I mean we've talked about this a lot and a little bit on this program here, but I would love to see the like a WoW 2.0 push that was let's time skip forward 100, 200, even 1,000 years, and let's tell new stories that have echoes of the past. And I think they kind of explored that a little bit with the Eretor storyline.
Right.
You're right about the Heronir stuff, who I kind of see as a cross between trolls and elves, but I
Right.
agree with you.
Well, and I mean, trolls were elves too. You got to remember. Everything goes back to the stupid elves, apparently.
Man, they're like the Skywalker family of Warcraft.
I tell you, they are.
But I would really love that because I always do love going back and seeing how old stories and how they ended and how they turned over time into legend and myth, how that evolves forward to help us tell new stories. Like that's something I'm very interested in.
Very cool. Yeah, and one of the to finish the campaign out there in Herondar, one of the quests is to actually like learn about the artifacts of the past and things like that, and that's a really cool system. And I've only done one artifact so far. I picked the cauldron right away because it was the coolest one. But I like the fact that the decor item bubbles up when you interact with it. But that's just
I haven't done that one yet.
That's my selfish reasoning for choosing that one. But I look forward to like learning about all the other different artifacts, and for them to even make me care about going back and repeating that's kudos to them. They have done what I again, in my opinion, they have done what used to be impossible, which is cover almost every angle. Like they've given so many people so many different ways to not only just level, but to just interact with Midnight at this point, you know? Interact with WoW. There's so many different angles to come at.
Yeah, I like because I've been watching other people in the guild while I've been doing my questing, while I've been doing my exploration, all the slow walk through the expansion that I like to do. I've been watching other people engage with the praise system and such, and it it looks to me like there's a lot of end game stuff to do, and I like the variety. I'm not rushing to do any of that stuff because I know for like the next 18 months that prey system and the delve system and the dungeons and the raids are probably going to be most of my life.
Yeah.
But I love how there's some variety in things to do now.
So, like, me and another WoW friend that I game with, we were talking about how, like, it used to be if you didn't have a group to roll things, you just got left in the dust, right? So
Yeah.
that's no longer the thing. There is enough solo content that is challenging and engaging that I'm not looking forward to, like, okay, well, you know, once we finish season 1, I could take a break from the game, blah, blah, blah. No, it's like, dude, there's so much to do that I can keep going regardless if I'm doing stuff with the guild or not.
Yeah. I do think that we've talked about this in previous episodes, but I think there's a lot more opportunities for solo play and just enjoying the game without having to deal with like nonstop raiding or dungeon crawls or something. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And the prey system is a big part of that. It makes open world content actually dangerous again and entertaining and fun. And, you know, even someone like me who is always afraid of turning on world PvP because I don't want to get ganked while doing a quest, right? So for me to be willing to do the prey system, it's kind of that same idea, but less extreme. The way I look at it, like world PvP means many people can hunt me down. With prey, it's just I'm dealing with just this one thing. And that's more acceptable to me.
So give us the high level of the prey system, only because your friend Trog here has not done any of it yet, and I know you've done some videos and stuff. So talk about some of that.
Okay. Well, it's I'll do it as spoilery free as I can for you. It's a really fun, engaging system if you have world quest up in the zones that the hunts are up in. So, like, for example, you go to Silver Moon City and you talk to the dude, and on the board you can choose where you want to do your hunts at. And as long as you have things in that zone that you can currently do, it makes it go a lot quicker. If you don't, you kind of are just stuck either grinding mobs or just doing random things and hoping that the guy will pop out and try to attack you. But what makes it really fun is when you have world quests or rares that are popping up. Like, me and, well, we'll just call him our salty super fan, Ryan. Me and Ryan were out there in Voidstorm, and we both had an active hunt going, and we both were trying to kill a rare. And while killing the rare, we both had our active hunt pop on top of us. So now
that sounds fun.
instead of just killing a rare and dealing with that, we both had our, you know, hunt target trying to assassinate us at the same time. So it's like I'm trying to kite mine away, he's trying to kite his away. We're still trying to kill the rare at the same time. So it's like it's really like in the moment. It takes a lot of like breathe and just. My advice to people is don't freak out when you get ambushed, because that is the number one mistake to make. Just wait for it. You know it's going to happen. You just don't know when. So when it does, just take a step back and start planning how you're going to deal with it. It kind of depends on the most immediate threat. It's kind of like triage. You just got to. So in that moment, the biggest threat to us is now the guy hunting us. So we had to take care of that first and let the rare become secondary. So That was really, really insane that all of that happened at once.
Man, that does sound really cool. I've been watching everybody engage with the system, and it does look like it's a lot of fun.
It is really fun, and again, as a new pillar of, end game, for lack of a better word, grinding, they've set it up as a way for you to have access to gear. I believe you can get a maximum of 2 pieces of gear from the prey system per week.
Okay.
So it's not a bad way to do it. And like I said, as long as you have like world quests up in the zone and things that you can do at the same time, it makes it really fun and interesting. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
It's all right, man. So what about delves? Because I've only done a couple of them so far, and I don't know. I haven't got a good feel for them yet. I kind of got lost in the 2 or 3 that I did.
Well, I kind of feel like we're making the sick guy talk a lot because he's done the most things. But
That's intentional.
yeah, I know. Fully intentional. I've only done, I want to say, about half of the delves, and here's where my first layer of sprinkles of salt will come into play. There's way too much trash mobs. Way too many. For them to have trimmed down all the, combat add-ons the way they have and their new tuning philosophy or, according to them, there is still quite a lot of interrupting that has to go out. It's not going to like one-shot you, but it's just going to make it last a lot longer and be more annoying, if that makes any sense.
I've kind of noticed that in 1 or 2 of the dungeons that I've done where it seems like there's just crowds of things that spray spells at you.
Crap everywhere. And, if you don't have a lot of interrupts, you're just stuck dealing with things longer than you need to be.
Yeah, like my boomkin.
Yeah. Or, my Demo lock. Like, I have Shadow Fury and I have an interrupt, but I can only do it every so often. I think my cooldown for my main interrupt is 30 seconds. So, 30 seconds is a long time.
That when you're fighting a whole pack of things, yes, it is.
So
I am kind of disappointed about that, right? Because that was one of the biggest things they said is I have noticed that casts take longer. It's
Yes.
easier to hit the interrupt because things aren't just like half a second to cast anymore. It's a couple of seconds. You have the time to react to it. But they did not trim the just machine gunning mobs like they had said they were going to.
They said they were gonna, and at least if I'm wrong, please correct me, internet. But it does not feel like they followed through on that promise at all.
I don't know why you're volunteering to get tons of random emails from the internet on why you're wrong, because you'll never stop getting emails.
Well, I have you to tell me I'm wrong all the time. I don't need them, but I'm inviting them to join in. They can be Team Trog.
Team Trog.
But
Professions. Professions.
Now, see, you have done way more with that than I have.
I've only really worked on engineering and enchanting and cooking. But the thing I wanted to say on Professions that struck me as kind of odd is the mats. They took it down to, I think, just 2 levels of mats.
Yeah, like silver and gold, right? Quality.
Yeah, something like that. And then on the actual patterns that you build, it's still the same as it was before. So 5 full levels.
Crappy quality.
Which the only one of those 5 levels is important. So either I don't care what level it is because I'm making it to throw it away, right? To level up or get knowledge points,
right.
Or I want the best I can make.
Right.
I really don't understand this 5 levels of quality system. A 2 or 3 level quality system, maybe that would make more sense. But 5 levels of quality feels like what they want us to do is make the lowest quality piece and then continue to upgrade it as we get further in our profession. But in my practical experience, that is not what you do. When I need an item, on my character. I don't make a little one and then upgrade it multiple times. I make the best one I can. And if I can't do that, I pay somebody else to do it for me. Like this idea that we're going to like
1000%
level
agree.
through them. Yeah, it's so funky, and it's not how the game works. And they've now been able to see it over 3 expansions, and they're still stuck on this idea of having those multiple levels, and I don't know why.
I mean, maybe it's something where it'll break a lot of other things if they change it. But like, I'm of the same opinion. Like, it's very rare. Like, I'm stuck in a really hard spot right now on my warlock because I'm a tailor and I can make my own gear, and I could just go ahead and craft a low level thing that uses the sparks. It would be like the lowest tier of whatever it is, but I'm not going to waste my sparks on a low level item. I'm going to
Yeah.
use my sparks and max that sucker as high as I can get it.
And
I don't
that's
understand.
exactly the problem, right? Because when you do it like that, it does feel like a waste.
Yeah, because then you got to go back and you either have to, I don't think you have to reuse sparks per se, but you have to reuse mats to level it up 2 more times.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wait till I have all the stuff to make it at the highest possible level.
Yeah, and I think that's what most people do, or at
It's
least
pretty
that's
common.
my,
And then
my
if we
engagement.
if we don't want to wait, then we pay the cost to have it made now. That kind of thing.
Right.
So,
And that does always come at a cost.
oh boy. Auction house be crazy, y'all. Midnight be crazy.
Oh, dude, those claws and fins selling for like, I think initially they were up there for like 2 million gold or something crazy.
So the thing that got me is I was working on cooking, kind of like you were. I was thinking of trying to be helpful for the guild and have another person who can make feasts, and lay them down once in a while. And I got to the point where I needed to make the feasts, and they required those dumb twigs or whatever that I
Yeah.
guess, unbeknownst to me, those drop in Zolomon. So,
Oh, did not know that either.
yeah. So one twig, one twig, just a crappy gray twig to make a feast, 3,000 gold.
Oh, that's down from when I first saw them. They were 20,000 a piece.
Yeah. But even 3,000 for a twig is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
When you need
It-
like 20 of them to make one of the hearty feasts.
20 of them. Yeah, that's right, huh?
So
Jeez.
I ended up doing my zone achievements out in Zolomon, and I came back to Silvermoon, and I was looking at my cooking. I'm like, oh, I can make a bunch of feasts now for some reason. Oh, so that's where those all come from. Well, I guess I know where I'm gonna be for the next hour or so. But so that's how I got my cooking leveled. But yeah, man, it's just, and I get it. It's the start of things, and people are willing to pay through the nose for perceived victory and perceived gains. You know what I mean? So
Well, there is a profit margin that comes with being first on things.
yes.
So I totally get it. I'm not that hardcore about my professions in the auction house, but I know there's plenty of people that are.
I mean, more power to the auction house czars. That's just not me. That's not how I want to engage with the game. Let's see. Was there any other big things that we missed? Oh, so my other sprinkling of salt. Actually, you know what? I'm going to back it up. Beep, beep. Let me back it up for just a second. Credit where credit is due, Trog. We had a solid launch. There was no significant downtime.
That is very true. I think you got kicked out at the very beginning, and I got
Yeah.
kicked out at one point,
For
but
like
I was
30,
back
40
in
minutes,
within.
but yeah,
I was back in 10 minutes, but yeah, it's
servers have been strong. Things have been reliable. I'm really pleasantly surprised. I was expecting worse. So, way to go. Like, Midnight, you killed it. Like, this whole week has been solid. The salt comes in when I'm trying to complete quests and the NPCs fail to show up. Or the quest item fails to appear. Things like that. So tiny bugs are existing, and they are annoying, and they give me salty feelings, but 90% kudos to Blizzard on the job that they have done with launching this product.
Yeah, in general, I'd agree as well. I've noticed some flaky things. I had to like kill my game a few times, and I personally am struggling with some problems with the memory leak from Blizzard's launcher. But I figured out how to work around that now, so it's better. I haven't noticed a ton of bugginess. It's just generally been pretty smooth. I think sometimes I was on late last night and trying to play, and the lag was terrible, so I rebooted my machine, and then I got back in and people are in the chat going, man, is everybody else having lag? So their servers must have had something going on. But in general, it's been pretty good. Even today, or I guess on Tuesday, the downtime was only like an hour, right?
Right. Yeah. So actually, it was 2. They extended it by 1.
Oh, it was 2.
But again, when I'm sitting here expecting it to be down all day, 2 hours is nothing.
That's definitely because I haven't been here for a launch since like Kata. And so I was asking you previous what to expect.
Yeah,
like
expect it
from
to
a
not work
pre-launch.
until Thursday.
So I was also very pleasantly surprised because I expected I would get in there, play for a few minutes, get frustrated by the lag, and then, no bout.
Right? And again, like I've bumped into the odd quest out there in Eversong. Eversong was the biggest culprit of this, where for whatever reason they refuse to learn this lesson. If you're gonna make a quest where people have to kill a small, finite number of things, and there's only so many of those things that spawn in a tiny, tiny area, make them spawn more often, please. I shouldn't be going off and doing 50 other quests and then coming back to kill 4 things. Like that's what I've had to do multiple times.
We were talking about one of those that was an Eversong. I can't remember which one it was, but
It's the Western Sanctum one where you're looking for the book or whatever. And
oh yeah, and you have to just kill random creatures to get
the
like items,
specific
right?
creatures that are in that tiny little circle. And there's no other circles on the entire map that you can go to hunt them. So literally, you are competing with thousands of people to kill 8 things.
Yeah, that circle was tiny. It was like a hut and the immediate surrounding of the hut, and that was it.
And these are the decisions that just baffle me.
When I was there, I really thought I had done something wrong or screwed something up because no mobs were alive in that whole area.
Fault,
like
Trog.
nothing lived. So I thought, wow, I must have like bugged out the quest somehow. But no, come to find out there were 5 other people doing the quest and they had just obliterated the area.
Right. And then apparently, for whatever reason, the mobs have like a 5 to 6 minute respawn. And I'm like, so again, like I said, I moved on with my life, came back and finished it an hour later. But, it's like, shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to left turn just because things aren't popping for me to kill.
Boy, you're smarter than me. I tend to just like go into stealth form in my druid, and then I multitask while I wait for things to appear.
I had too much going on, man. But again, like, I want to put it out there, to whoever's listening. Like, we're going to do a follow-up episode more about this. But, like, the FOMO at the start of a launch is always super high. And I want to, this is going to sound weird, being the salty voice of reason, but I want to just put it out there that if you're a sweaty tryhard, cool. I'm not mad at you. Play the game how you want to play. If you're a lore master who wants to take his time and snail crawl through everything, very cool too. Okay? Don't let the artificial FOMO of this being the first week change the way that you experience the first week of an expansion. Because that can either, for good or bad, alter your perception of the expansion.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% because I am one of those slow burn players. Like, I know that for the next 18 months, I'm going to be doing end game stuff nonstop, leveling alts. I'm going to be doing professions, all the stuff I normally do.
Right.
And so at the start of an expansion for me, I like to take it nice and slow and really enjoy it. And then I can get all, try hard and maximize my gear and try to be at the top of the DPS meter in the raid and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, let's
But
be
for
realistic.
now, none of that's important.
Yeah, they gave us like a hard line of like when to expect. Like, okay, so the 17th things start happening. So that is the time that I know that I need to be at a certain, gear level, whatever, by the 17th. It's the 5th, everybody. Like, excuse me, had a cough. I'm going to share a story, and I know Trog has a similar salty experience in this dungeon, but I think my experience in this dungeon speaks volumes as to, like, the attitudes of players nowadays. And I just want to kind of put it out there as, like, a word of caution. You don't have to let this be who you are. I was in a Magister's Terrace run. This is day 2 of the live launch of the game. Early access is over. Everyone has access to midnight now. I'm in there just to get it done to progress and go to Voidstorm because it's part of, the campaign. There is a paladin tank in there. Keep in mind, this is a heroic dungeon. So, not life or death. It's not a mythic key. It's not even a mythic 0. It's literally just people trying to get it done so they can move on with their campaign. But this guy feels the need to start hollering at people for not, quote unquote, interrupting enough. And I'm going to throw it out there. You're a freaking paladin tank. You are the interrupt. I'm sorry. You have your shield. You have your consecrates. You have all your hammers and stuff. You are the interrupt. I am there to assist you when I can. And I do hit it every chance that I get. But this dude was just so rude about it to the point that collectively in whispers, we all got together and said, let's kick him before the last boss to kind of teach him a lesson, of like, you don't need to be that way right now. We are all here just learning the dungeon. So we did. We collectively decided to remove him. And then the next tank we got came in, we one-shot the last boss, and we went about our day. So it's like these attitudes are carrying over from prior seasons into new content that don't need to exist. I get it that, yes, DPS needs to interrupt. But guess what? Blizzard has changed the interrupt game. So the main interrupt job now is whoever's tanking and whoever's melee. Sorry, that's just the way it is. The ranged people will help and support you as much as possible. But again, it's just this overwhelming, like, be perfect, try hard attitude. Dude, it's day 2. Get over yourself.
So you mentioned I had a similar experience in Magister's Terrace, actually, the night before you had that experience, where I went in there, and it was kind of a rough run. It's a bit of a I could see how it might be a rough dungeon later in Mythic Plus.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a hard one.
But it was going all right. The healer died in the third boss, so I battle res them, and then they left the group right after the third boss. And the tank kind of joked about it, and they were like, well, I guess they thought the dungeon was over. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so we proceed on to the next boss, and we're nearly there, and all of a sudden everybody on my screen is running in place. And I'm like, crap.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I'm like, I can sit here and wait until the game actually crashes out and boots me out, which is going to take, I think it's like a 5-minute timeout or something.
Yeah, it's something crazy.
It takes a while. So I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to force close my game. I'm going to reset the Battle.net client again because it's giving me problems. And then I'm going to jump back into the game. And I think I was back there in about 2 minutes, and the group just booted me. And went on, and I'm like, man, all we had was the last boss left. You couldn't just let me come back from a lag spike so we can go. Especially this was the night of day 1, right. So it's not like this is super important right now. Everybody's just kind of running this stuff for the first time.
Right. And a lot of that again is just the go 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 mentality of Keystones that has permeated this game for a while now. And I get it, it exists, and I just do my best to work around it. But this is exactly why I try to not do pug groups for anything if I can avoid it.
Which is sad because the beautiful thing about WoW is we're all playing this game because we
Right.
enjoy it, because it scratches an itch for us, and it's something that most of us have a lot of history with. So there's all this joy that we have about this game. And some people take that joy, turn it into a job, and then get upset at everybody else who doesn't treat it like a job like they do.
Right. I mean, I have enough real chores in my real house. I don't need to stress about imaginary pixelated chores that need doing.
Even though you're a WoW player, so you totally do anyway.
Even though I'm literally stressing right now.
I
But
know. And I can comment on it all I want because I am exactly the same way.
but yeah, so again, like I just want to put it out there for everybody that play the game the way you want to play it. Don't let other people or, artificial FOMO affect, because I let it affect me, and I kind of regret it because I wish I had just gone through and enjoyed the stories a little bit more in the last two zones. And now I have to go back and kind of like, I have to alter my way of thinking about it, because I have this huge backlog of stuff that I got to finish that I could have just done the first playthrough through.
Yep. So, housing. So you've talked a lot about housing recently. You didn't really give your housing update, but I kind of want to hear, because I don't care about housing at all. What's different about housing? What have they improved already in the expansion release? What do you like?
As far as like the interface and anything, I can't really see any differences yet. I don't think they've made any of those changes. They may be working on them. But I will say this, the sheer amount of decor that I have collected while leveling is insane. I horde side, because my main is horde.
The right faction.
Always. I definitely have gone up almost an entire housing level just collecting things as I'm grinding my storyline. So they've made it super accessible. If you just do content, you'll get stuff to decorate with, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, they're sprinkled all through the quests in the game. I have noticed I've gotten quite a few as well.
The only thing that kind of feels bad is you only get decor off of the final boss of dungeons now, and I don't know if that changes if you do it as like a keystone or anything, but I hope so, because there's actual gear in these dungeons that I need, especially off of the last boss.
I have noticed that. I've gotten quite a few pieces off of dungeons that I've been doing.
Yeah, the final boss of the dungeon only drops decor, and I'm hoping that that's only up through heroic. Like once you start doing mythics, I hope that you get gear and decor. But housing is going well. The project with Ray still is continuing, and I can actually officially announce that there is a playlist on our YouTube channel of the progress that we've made so far. So look for new episodes just about every week. We'll do one. In fact, we just recorded one yesterday.
Nice. Well, I'll talk with about a change that I noticed that I have a lot of opinions about.
Uh-oh.
So, the pets.
Oh, Trog's moment of salt, everybody. Sit back.
This is
Relax.
definitely going to be, it's definitely going to be my moment of salt. So, I've always kind of enjoyed that Pokemon part of the game. In fact, I enjoyed it a little too much at one point and like focused so hard on it that I ended up quitting one of the expansions at one point.
Over pet
But-
battles?
Because I was doing it like people used to do garrisons or the farm in Pandaria. Like these are things that like scratch the itch for me, and I get way too focused on them.
You were
But
invested.
But in general, like, I enjoyed the pet battle system. I thought it was a cool paper rock scissors pet collection game, right? Like, it felt like what it's based on, Pokemon. Like, it felt okay. It felt like Pokemon in WoW universe, and I still did it every once in a while. I'm not as into it as I used to be. And when I saw the new way to catch pets, where you just kind of click on them and it throws a crate out and it captures it, I'm like, oh, that's nice. Like, now I can collect pets without having to have these annoying battles where something's just dodging my crate over and over and over again. And so I said something in chat, and they were like, oh, that's because they're not battle pets anymore. And I'm like, what? So I've been noticing all the pets that we're getting are not battle pets anymore, and they must be retiring that system. But I noticed something weird, Rocket. That
Uh-oh.
pet quest for Discord, that pet is a battle pet. I got it last night, and I opened it up either last night or this morning, and it's got battle abilities and all of that kind of stuff. It's not a non-combat pet. So now I'm kind of wondering if we're wrong, if we were wrong about them retiring that system, and maybe they're just not doing it from the world anymore, but the system still exists. I'm not really sure what that means, but I really hope that system is not dead. Those pet
So wait a
battle
minute.
dungeons sounded cool, and I wanted more of that.
Let's back up a minute. There's a Discord battle pet quest? I was not aware of this.
Oh yeah, it popped up for me. It's oh well, it's not there anymore. Now it's some other video game I don't play.
Well, great. I missed my chance. Oh well.
Yeah, it was just play WoW for like 15 minutes or something and get a free
Son
pet.
of a bitch, I was doing that hours. I could have.
It seems like a weird cross promotion, right? Like when the expansion drops, of course, that's what everybody's going to be doing. So why do you need to try to pull people into the Discord?
So it's kind of like what we were talking about with this whole housing stuff is like, for the few, the minority of people who don't want to engage at all, you're not going to convince them over to your side by constantly marketing and promoting Midnight as the housing expansion. Like every commercial I see is just about housing. How about you talk about the other fun stuff like the prey system, the labyrinths, the fun things that are actually World of Warcraft, not just the housing? Because again, for the reason why we like this so much is there's choices in how we engage. And I really hope that we are wrong. I want you to have your pet battles, man, because again, that's taking away freedom of choice.
As a game developer myself, I can recognize the bloat within the system, and that bloat, all of these different systems are a barrier to entry for new players. But I really feel like there's a way to solve that by putting things behind small play walls, not pay walls, but play walls. Like if you want to get into WoW Pokemon, don't show it anywhere on the interface until you like do an opening quest for it. And now all of it is open, but it guides you through how to do like the battles in the world, how to do the collection, how to do the pet dungeons. It would be nice if instead of just chopping off extra systems, they instead started building on-ramps to these systems.
And trimming the system.
Yes, there are a lot of things in WoW that need trimming.
Yeah, I'm with you. Here's an off-the-wall idea. You know what would be a perfect location to include pet battles as something optional that if you want to engage with it, you can do it, and it only happens once every month?
What's that?
The Dark Moon Fair.
Oh, that would be... Yeah, there is a lot of pet stuff for the Dark Moon Fair, actually. They've got quite a bit of pets. They've got 2 battlers there.
It happens once a month. People can engage with it or not, but it would give people that outlet and that choice. And again, that's what I'm all about.
I really do like the theme of the Dark Moon Fair, and you're right. If there were...
I always have. Always loved the Dark Moon Fair. It makes me sad that I really have no reason to go there unless I'm leveling a profession, which, by the way, in Midnight, it's a nice way to quickly get a bunch of profession points, go to the Dark Moon Fair, Get your points up quickly. There you go. Rockets tips.
I haven't done it yet, but I need to because I think it's over on Sunday, right?
Yes, sir. It's ending soon.
Oh yeah, I better get on that then. I think what other features were we really excited about, or have we talked about a lot? Well, can I talk a little bit about my thoughts on Heron Deer because that's where I am right now.
Oh, for sure.
So I really love Rocky. You mentioned this a little bit when you were talking about it, but like I've read about fungus that like just basically exists under the soil of a
The
forest
fungus among us.
is intertwined in all the tree roots. And I really feel like them taking and running with that underground mushrooms, like and a shared ecosystem where everything is kind of using everything else to survive. That was that was a really nice way to do that zone. And I really love the look of the zone. And it
Yeah.
feels like, I mean, you mentioned this, like Zangermarsh and Everbloom. I was more connecting it with Zangermarsh when I was in those, like, the marshy areas of the zone
Yeah,
with all the
yeah. I mean, it
mushrooms.
makes sense.
And but it really does have that feeling, that quiet, dark feeling. I really, man, like they've really nailed that in the expansion for me. How these zones feel, how the story feels, and I really love that.
So I tell you what, I don't die very much while I'm leveling a character. I died in Heronir, and I'll tell you specifically what section killed me. It took me a few minutes to figure out how to hide from Freya in the bush. If you haven't done that quest yet, Trog, I'm sorry for spoilers.
Oh no, I did do it. I didn't end up hiding in the bush. I ended up getting my face stomped on, and
Yes.
then when I res, she was far enough away where I didn't have to deal with it anymore. So I moved on.
Yeah. I was not so lucky. She stomped me twice before I figured out that when she gets close, you can just hide in the bush and then run away.
Oh man.
Oh, it was horrible. That is the only time that I've died. Well, okay, I take it back. The other time, it's funny how I only died to weird random mechanics in a zone. So, Void Storm. I got one shot somehow by flying too close to something. I don't know what it was. I wasn't high up in the air, so it wasn't the thing eating me, but something like zapped me out of the sky and I just fell to my doom.
I cannot say the same thing that you can. I tend to die a lot while I'm leveling because every time I go anywhere, I'm like, well, I'm geared enough. I should be able to pull this entire area.
Yeah. You
And
keep thinking you're still in season 3 and you are not in season 3.
I don't think that's the thought. I just think I love to pull all the things. So that's what I do. And then if I'm with somebody else, Brockett, and they start complaining at me, then I regret it. Otherwise, I just die a bunch of times before I stop pulling everything in the
Wait a
area.
minute. Are you implying that I complain when you in fact live up to the guild name, sir?
When I, especially if I do it in a delve or a dungeon where you're tanking, yes, there's quite a bit of salt that is thrown my way.
I feel like you don't understand how hard it is to tank when you do that.
Again, I don't know that it's I don't know. I just don't care.
These are valid. I understand. I'm
Oh,
working on not being salty at you when you in fact live up to our guild name because it's in our guild name. How can I get mad at someone for pulling all the things when it's what I do?
I will say though, the positive side of playing the way that I play when I'm questing, especially since I'm on a new character, is I'm learning to deal with bad situations of my own creation.
Yeah, you're learning how to manage oopsies.
Yeah, I've started to really figure out how to use the set of tools that I have available to like keep a horde of things kind of contained to an area away from me while I throw stars at them until they die.
One thing that I'm really loving on my warlock, and I think it's something new, is the AOE curse that I have. It's like the cloud, where if so at the onset of a pull, if I hit the mobs with this cloud, it slows down their casting for 10 seconds. It makes their cast like 300% longer. to cast.
Oh, there was something like that in Affliction where you could put down this AoE and it would curse things and put a couple of dots on them. I think
Yeah.
Corruption and something else. But
So
I
it's
thought that
that
was
same
only on
idea.
Affliction.
No, I get the same cloud, but it only does the slowdown of casting. It doesn't apply
Oh,
dots.
oh, it's not multiple things. It's just that curse.
Correct. So
Okay.
it's really handy, especially at the onset of big pulls. Like I wait for the tank to grab everything. I throw that cloud out there. And then if I need to, I throw a Shadow Fury AoE stun out there. And then I just start going to town. And by that time, I'm either number 2 or number 1 on the meter. So I'm happy.
No, I've not been happy with my places on the meter yet, but that's because I'm not geared.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's day 3.
Yeah,
4?
that is true, and I feel like I'm 60% of the way through Harrenir, so I'll finish the campaign in a couple of days.
Is Harrenir the only zone you have left?
Voidstorm. I've done all the rest.
Voidstorm is the only one I have left for all the stories to be done, and yeah, that's gonna be a slog for me.
Yeah,
Just because of the weird like layering of the zone, I guess is the best way to put it, because you can't just like fly around and do everything like you could everywhere else, because there's the danger of flying around out there.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't even been out there yet. I'm just I think about the last zone in every expansion, and it should be the one that inspires me the most, but it's usually the one I like the least. And so I'm not super looking forward to it.
See, I was hyped for it. Like the loading screen for it is gorgeous. It has really big Stranger Things upside down vibes with the color scheme. But to me, it's just like, okay, this just feels like Koresh with cooler mobs.
Courage with extra steps.
Yeah.
Nice.
And, let's be honest. We were in Koresh for a very long time. So,
Well, some of us are running Molten Core and BRD over and over rather than being in that zone.
I guess. Crazy people. Was there anything we were supposed to hit on that we haven't talked about? I mean, I feel we've hit all the highlights. We're not going to talk too much about Labyrinths. We have a whole freaking schedule of shows coming up for that. So,
Well, they're not out yet, so it makes sense that let's wait until
Well-
it gets closer and we have some more stuff.
well, we also want to talk about Labyrinths. I think it might be, but yeah.
The only real thing is, do you want me to talk a little bit about just where we are with the release and some of the sausage making of the show?
I mean, I feel like you enjoy that aspect of it, and I can chime in. I'll let you take the reins for now.
So we're still kind of working out our process for release, and as we're figuring this out, we're of course stumbling and finding areas of delay. But we're going to be making all of the episodes we've recorded to date available later today is my goal. So what you will see when you listen to these episodes is they're going to be just the raw sound files of Rocket and I talking for now. We've got somebody working on helping remaster those, improve them, level the volume, take out some of the blank space when, we run into a lag where our brains are queuing up information. So I just want to let everybody know the episodes will be enhanced as we move forward, but we just want to get the content out there now, because I feel like, well, Rocket and I both feel we've been talking about some good stuff and just holding it behind a wall of release, and we want to put this out there so we can start working towards what we want this podcast to be. Did I kind of summarize it well?
Yeah, what I'm going to add on to that is what I have affectionately decided to call those episodes is the Raw Dog releases.
You told me this the other day.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure I like that verbiage, but okay.
I feel like we need to have a whole separate section of just Raw Dog releases, and that'll be everyone's first introduction to the episode. And then we can, again, the idea is that we would clean them up as time allows. Trog and I are neither of us audio engineers, So our really good friend and guildmate Skate is helping us out with that. But he's been sick as well. There's a lot of sickness going around, so everybody stay healthy.
Oh
But
yeah, lots of sickness.
So we're thinking that like this is probably the best course of action, and I agree. We should release the content, let people hear it, because I feel that we have some good talking points.
And if you want to hear Skate's very good work, he has already finished our very first episode, which was probably, I think, in listening to them, it was the roughest episode. It was the first time we were ever doing this.
Right.
But
there's a lot of walking on each other in that one.
I really love the good work that Skate did on there because that show sounds so nice, especially with the Warcraft music at the beginning and end. He did such a fantastic job. So I want to give all the other episodes that treatment, but it's also a time-consuming exercise.
Correct. So did you put it out there that it's going to be later today?
Yeah. That's my goal. Is I've got to do the work for the last 2 episodes, and then I'm going to start releasing them to Spotify and getting them to show up on our little calendar on our website.
Very cool. Well, I do know that we're a little over what we normally sit and chat, but I just want to thank everybody who is listening for listening. And I believe the next one that we have lined up is our Labyrinth actual episode. So there you go.
Oh,
that
nice.
kind of worked out that we had it on our brains.
And special shout out to Ryan, the Salty Superfan now. He has joined the guild, and he is going to be welcomed into the fold.
Yeah. Ryan is an actual real-life friend of mine. We knew each other for many years, and we've been playing WoW pretty much the same length of time. So it's very exciting for him to be in the guild, but also for him to be supportive of our endeavors here on the podcast.
All right. Well, I feel like we have beaten this horse sufficiently, wouldn't you say?
I think we have beaten it with the salt stick to death. So, until next time, everybody, keep it up in midnight. Keep grinding. Do what you need to do. But again, do what you want to do.
Have fun.
Rocket.
Have fun
Trog.
playing the video game. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.